synagogue expressed a deep fear for her safety. She has stated that she was absolutely terrified after the attack took place. Listen in.
Today is Yom Kippur. It's a very holy festival, and I'm Jewish and absolutely terrified. And our neighbour across the road, he goes to the synagogue, and he was telling us what was going on, and it's just absolutely frightening because I'm scared for my own safety and my mum's safety, because I just feel that the Jewish, we're not pulling together anymore. I just feel there was so many people down that road taking pictures, and they're happy to be on camera, but they don't realise the impact it's putting on the Jewish community now.
Meanwhile, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has stated that police presence will be increased at synagogues across the capital following this attack in Manchester. Remember, 2 people have lost their lives and 3 are in a critical condition after the attack at Crumpsall. This man, the suspect who's been shot, he drove his car into pedestrians who were gathered outside the synagogue and then stabbed some of them as well. Remember, earlier UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer stated that security is being boosted at synagogues across Britain. He'll be chairing a Cobra meeting as well to ascertain what is being done on ground. Meanwhile, authorities are urging the public to avoid the area as investigation into the tragedy continues. With us on the broadcast is Mr. Mark Sutherland, geopolitical commentator, joining us from London. Thank you, sir, once again for taking our time, joining us on NewsX World as we track developments regarding this story. What's fresh is that London's Mayor Sadiq Khan has stated that police presence will be increased at synagogues across the capital. This is in line with what British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has stated. Now, critics are pointing out that Sadiq Khan has enabled polarizing public discourse as the Mayor of London. In your assessment, will he walk the talk? Will he live up to the promises that he's making now?
Pierre, good to be back with you. The awful events of the 7th of October 2023 when Hamas attacked Israel, we start at that point. And since then, there has been pro-Palestinian marches in London virtually every other weekend. Those have also happened up and down the country. The security of mosques, synagogue, Freudian slip, has been going on privately within the Jewish community for many, many years. And if Sadiq Khan wanted to lower the rhetoric, then one way to have done that would be to then really bring these Palestinian marches, protests, into line and actually say, no, this is unacceptable, because it has intimidated the Jewish communities in this country. It's definitely intimidated the Jewish community in London, and people are in regular discussion about saying, is there any future for us as Jews in this country, and do we actually leave, do Aliyah and then go back to Israel? The issue is this to me, as I say, is that Sadiq Khan could have put in processes, said things to damper this, and in my humble opinion, has then not done so. One of the other issues is the rhetoric that is out there. And in the end, when you say things, when you go, well, we're going to, as the UK Prime Minister has done, the UK government has done, we're going to recognize a 2-state solution, and also under threat that if you don't do that, like we found in Italy, where Giorgia Meloni has not done that as an Italian government, and then people kick off in Milan and just riot like a very, very serious temper tantrum because they're not getting what they want. Words matter. Discourse matters. We have to remember that with the appalling killing, assassination of Charlie Kirk. The public square, in what we say, it's very, very important in how we say it. But unfortunately, and it's also been shown this week within the Labour conference and a speech by Keir Starmer is that rhetoric then escalates, and then people go and deny that and try and water that down. So that is what is going on, Pierre. We have to be careful of what we say, but you are right. The problem is that some people's actions have not backed up things for a long, long time, and that's where we are at, Pierre.
So then, in your assessment, what's really necessary at this hour to tackle anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic sentiments which manifest in such tragedies?
Well, the awful thing, as I was actually on that march a couple of weeks ago, which is the March Against Anti-Semitism in London. All people can do is express that and raise this issue. But when we're dealing with an ideology, look, today you and I are having a discussion on the day of Yom Kippur, which is the most holiest days in the Jewish calendar. That is, and Day of Atonement. We unfortunately are having this discussion. But if people believe in an ideology that they wish to then murder Jews and think that that is perfectly acceptable way to behave, as we have seen on the 7th of October, we've had people around the world calling to globalize the Intifada. Then this is where we are at. Because it is about rhetoric. You keep pushing that, then why should we, sadly, then these incidents then happen because the rhetoric then pushes that within the public square. And people have just got to be honest. If you have this kind of behavior, these actions are unbelievably unacceptable. That's it within any Western society. But because there is people that thinking that is the way to behave. The fact that we as the government in the UK have got 40,000 people that they're having to track because of their behavior and their threat to the UK, their threat to Western civilization. That is a position that we are in because we have also imported and brought that ideology into this country, as much as to some that will be a profoundly maybe offensive thing to say, but it's the truth. And that is where we are at, unfortunately, in the UK and in Europe, if not in other parts of the world, Pia.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, sharing your perspective with us on NewsX World. With that, viewers, we're